First man, one small step for man or one giant misstep? Hello once again, I'm Joe and you're watching Rookie Review. Now that we're at the beginning of 2019 and the tail end of the 2018 mega blockbusters have come and went, we can now focus on some of the award season hopefuls. Now the funny thing is the movie we'll be discussing was touted as a definite favourite on the conveyor belt of hopeful winners. But since its lacklustre release, the Damien Chazelle directed, Ryan Gosling and Claire Foy starring First Man seems to have all been but forgotten, and in this video we'll see why. Depicting the life of Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon. Oh wait, I get the title now. Really clever guys, real clever. After watching the movie we have to ask, is First Man one small step for man or one giant misstep? Now First Man is Oscar bait 101. It's an autobiographical period piece that's centred around tragedy, triumph and family drama, written and directed by Oscar winner Chazelle. Ultimately, when a movie has that level of pedigree and prestige, a lot of people, fans and critics alike, can be blindsided into thinking a movie is going to be far better than it actually is. Now don't get me wrong, First Man is by no means a bad movie, and certainly worth a watch if you want to peek into one of the most pivotal moments in modern world history. But beyond that, this is not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination, and certainly doesn't top either Whiplash or La La Land when comparing it to Chazelle's other primary works. The movie opens in 1961, the very height of the Cold War and the space race between the good old USA and those dastardly commie Russian Reds. Gosling's Armstrong is initially presented as a liability that may be out of his depth, but that description isn't just suitable for Armstrong as an astronaut, but Gosling as an actor as well. Now I like Gosling, he comes across as a pretty cool and laid back person, and there's no questioning that he's kind on the eyes as well. But as an actor, I really just don't get why many high-profile directors keep tapping him for their films, as I think his range is incredibly limited. If you want a good-looking, charming and charismatic leading man in your romantic drama, then Gosling is your guy. That's why he works so well in movies like The Notebook and La La Land. But if you want depth, energy, eccentricity, fear, evilness and anything involving passion and extreme emotion, Gosling is not your man. Now Armstrong might very well have been a quiet and reserved man, and the scene where he says goodbye to his children as he leaves to go on a mission that he may never return from perfectly captures the day and age of physically and emotionally distant fathers. But that doesn't change the fact that this is yet another dull Gosling performance from the school of charming yet lazy George Clooney acting. Gosling's rather understated performance actually matches the tone of the movie, which considering comes from the guy who brought us the uplifting and joyous La La Land and is based on one of America's greatest triumphs, is actually very bleak. From a washed out colour palette to every single performance being shrouded in misery and depression, from brain tumours to failed attempts leading to deaths of friends, this is less a movie about overcoming the odds, but more so just surviving the odds. This is a movie that lacks any true joy, fun or excitement, and considering it's about the first mission to the moon, this has to be seen as something of a failure. But hey, there's no quicker way to bag yourself an Oscar than by making people miserable for over 2 hours. Well, that used to be the way anyway. When you throw Claire Foy's performance as Janet Armstrong into the mix, all you really get is an uncomfortable, boiling point tension that never really spills over into an amazing performance or a truly dramatic scene. Though Foy's role, like her real-life counterpart, is to act as a support to Gosling and NASA's mission, she's not totally wasted as she is given moments to vent her anguish, and though just as restrained and tight-lipped as Gosling, she pulls off the tortured, depressed, anxiety-ridden housewife with enough pathos and emotion that you do feel sympathetic for her, even if the movie doesn't do too much to evolve the woman behind the man trope. This focus on dramatic performances is aided by the fact that though this movie may be depicting an epic and monumental event, the movie as a whole feels quite small and intimate in scale. But the fact that this movie is set in the 1960s, arguably one of the most politically and socially explosive and rapidly evolving decades of the last century, means that more time and focus should have been put on the bigger picture, and the place this mission had in that epic picture. Though this isn't an America rah-rah sort of story, it still emphasises the magnitude of NASA's achievement, and it's the scenes depicting the evolution of the mission, the camaraderie between the astronauts, and the trials and tribulations that they have to go through where this movie succeeds the most. Though this may be an Armstrong biopic first and foremost, the amount of time and focus put on all involved is both commendable and respectful, especially when you take into consideration the amount of casualties the mission suffered along the way. The movie succeeds most in its claustrophobic and intense first-person depictions of rocket launches. The oppressive darkness and denseness of space is captured in a very scary and realistic manner. The high point of the drama in this movie comes with the failed first attempt into space and the almost impossible task of landing the vessel back to Earth safely. From the disorientating camera work to the screeching sound engineering, Chazelle and his team probably gave the most true-to-life representation of a man falling to Earth in a metal coffin. Though this movie doesn't succeed on every front, it should make you feel the utmost respect for Armstrong and all the remarkable people involved. That's if it did really happen. Dun dun dun. But on a serious note, the movie does succeed in taking an icon of American history and tearing away all the folklore and mystique around him, and showing for what he really is. Simply a father, a husband, and basically a man who struggled to juggle his work and home life. The emotional payoff of Armstrong finally reaching the moon. Spoiler alert, yes, they do make it to the moon. Crazy, I know. And the revelation of the emotional reason and thread that has anchored Armstrong's purpose to succeed in his mission stands out as one of the best moments of the movie. If the message of the movie is that failure ultimately leads to success, then maybe the failures of this movie will lead to Chazelle getting back on track and producing something in his next outing that will match up to some of his great earlier works. Though this movie has its moments, it never deserved to walk away from the awards season as one of the big winners. I therefore give First Man a middle of the road and unremarkable 3 out of 5 rookie reels. Well, that was our discussion and review of First Man. Tell us what you thought of the movie and of our review in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more glorious discussions about the best and worst of 2018 and 2019. Bye now. Liked what you saw and have an interest for travel and adventure? Check out our other YouTube channel, Roman Rookies, as we travel across 14 countries in an 11-month whirlwind of fun and excitement. Just click here or the link in the description below. Thanks for watching.